So, what are some of the things that you love about God? I was sitting thinking about this and I started thinking, okay, what is it about God that I love the most? And I know it's hard to choose. Like, you could choose His grace, you could choose His mercy, it could be His forgiveness, it could be His wisdom, it could be so many different things. It could be how, He's just such a provider, how He's a healer. But I challenge myself to think about if you had to narrow it down to three things, what would it be? And for me, the first thing is his faith. The faith of God is just unbelievable. The second one is kind of a double. I cheated a little bit, but it's his sovereignty while also still being able to give us free will. And then the third, I mean, his love. How nothing else compares to his love. So that's what I want to talk about today. I mean, what better way to live than like royalty? I mean, after you start spending time with a person and, getting to know them a little bit better, you start to ask yourself, all right, I really like this person, but what is it about them that I like the most? So I really just sat down and thought about that when it comes to God. What is it about God that I just really, really like the most? And like I said, I narrowed it down to those three things: his faith, his sovereignty while allowing free will, and then, his love. And the Bible is the greatest love story ever told. I did a video about that a while back, but his love is just unmatched. The Bible is filled with just love stories about his love for us, about types of love that represents our relationship with him, and how he feels towards us. So, his love is just, it speaks enough of itself. But his faith, a lot of people don't recognize that God has to have faith. The biggest thing or the greatest thing that I love about God is that he will never teach us or tell us to do something he himself wouldn't do. Again, he made us in his image and his likeness. So when we talk about having faith, God has to have faith. Yes, he knows the end from the beginning and he set all of this into motion, but he has to have faith that his word is going to accomplish what he sent it out to do. He has to have faith that everything that he put into his plan is going to come to pass the way that he intended it. And when you think about the world, when you think about the universe, when you think about every individual, when you think about everything, it's unbelievable to think about the faith that God has, which is why in Mark, when he said have faith in God, it was saying have the God kind of faith. So his faith is unbelievable. And then it takes me to his sovereignty, yet his free will. And it's just amazing for him to be all powerful, for him to have control over everything and to be able to dictate everything and how it works, how it functions, but then to still create things, put a system in place and step back and say, okay, I've created these people. I'm going to allow them to make their own decisions, to do what they want to do. Then you go and look at his faith again. You have to have faith that these people are going to truly understand your word. You have to have faith that they're truly going to understand you and understand that you exist and that they can fall in love with you and want to dedicate their life to you, to be able to do what's right, considering sin came on the scene and all of this other stuff. So we know God is all powerful. We know he can do any and everything. With God, all things are possible. But you think about it, he gave us free will. Now that's amazing to me, because giving a person free will and still setting a plan in place and saying, although you have free will, I know you're going to do this, and this. That's just brilliant. It was really hard for me not to choose the wisdom of God, because he's just so wise. And this plan that he put in place about creation, about redemption with Jesus Christ is just, it's unbelievable. That you think about the Bible itself, that has to be a God. Like, no man could have written this. No man could have put this plan in place. No man could have made all of those prophecies thousands of years ago, and then they come to pass with Jesus Christ, and then still coming to pass today with everything that's currently happening in the world. To even the end times, when talking about Asia and all of these other places, it's just amazing. So that's his faith, that's his sovereignty, yet the free will, and then the final thing is his love. There's nothing that could separate us from the love of God. For God so loved the world that he sent his only begotten son. Love, 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 love. I love the song that says, love lifted me when nothing else could help, because if God didn't love us so much, he wouldn't have done everything that he did. He wouldn't have put everything in the going to the base, to the foundation. He wouldn't have created us if he didn't love us. He wouldn't have allowed this thing to play out the way that it has if he didn't love us. I heard one person say, God must have been bored when he created us. Yeah, but the fact is that he thought about us. He thought about creating us. And just from that thought alone, he loved us so much that he knew that all of this was going to happen and still put everything in place the way that he did to make sure that the love that he has for us will forever be felt and that we will still be able to live with him, reign with him, and just experience him forever, even after we mess up. So to have that type of love where you know a person is going to mess up, you know they're going to do you wrong, yet you still take them back. You still sacrifice everything you have for them. You still give them your best because that love that you have for them is so strong. And then the only thing that Jesus commanded us to do was to love our brothers. The only thing he said was to love our enemies. So we see this concept of love just being the greatest force, which is why I always say the greatest force in the world isn't evil. It isn't none of these other things. It's love. Because if love caused God to die for us, for his creation, I mean, what greater force is there? Love. So it could have been grace. It could have been wisdom. It could have been forgiveness. It could have been a lot of things. But you let me know what the greatest attributes of God are to you. And I mean, go ahead, comment, like, subscribe. But I know it's a different type of video, but I was just sitting thinking, what is it about God that I love so much? And a lot of people come and they ask you about your faith. They ask you, why do you believe? They ask you, why are you living this way? They ask you, what about it has proved to you that it works? Like, and you have to be able to give an answer to everybody that asks about the hope that lies within you. So when they ask that, when they come with those questions, it really causes me to reflect and really think, man, God, I have been saved for a while. I have been dedicating my life. I have sacrificed things. I have denied myself. I have done this. I have done that. But why? Then when I think about God, I'm just like, no, God did this. No, God allowed this. No, God placed this in my life. God allowed this to happen. God made this happen for me. Like, when I think of his goodness and all he's done for me, when I think of his goodness and how he set me free, I can just dance. No, but seriously, I mean, God is just amazing. Everything about him, everything that he did, everything that I think about, even the things that I don't know. There's still so many mysteries. He still wants to reveal so much of himself to us so that we can know him even better and know him even deeper. I mean, he created us. He's our father. The same way that I would love to know my biological father and have a strong, deep relationship with him, I want to have that same relationship, even greater relationship with God, which is why, I mean, when people ask that question, I get taken back by it because I do love him. I do want to know him even better and even stronger, even more. Like, and I do want to experience him even more. So when people ask that question, it takes me and I really go on a tangent like I'm doing right now. But again, what are the greatest attributes of God that you love, that you admire, that really, do it for you? So let me know in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, like I said, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.